What is up, everybody? We're on episode 16.
16.
Nice little stutter to start there. We thought this was overdue.
Yeah.
This could go long. This could go short, but we've got a parenting episode for you.
Yeah, they don't call us the house dads for nothing. Right?
Yeah, 16 episodes in, and people are like, "Are you dads or not?"
Yeah, we've
talked
talked about everything but this.
leadership.
So it's time.
It is time. So this is going to be a parenting style episode. We're trying out a new little format just to kind of be a little more casual,
For
right?
sure.
We don't want to preach to you and lecture you. We want you to get value out of it, of course. But, you learn things through conversation.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we're just going to be talking about parenting. I'm Rhett.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're the house dads because we're dads who sell houses.
But we're also husbands, business owners, sports freaks, Christians.
Friends, marketing nerds, TV show bingers, and so many more things.
Like so many of you, we're just trying to do it all. And we're trying to do it well.
And that's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, and I think the reason that it's taken us so long to do this is because there's nothing that I feel less qualified to talk about than parenting.
You said parenting, and I was like, I don't know. I'm kind of figuring it out as I go.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
but I think this is a safe space.
Yes.
And so we're going to share some of the things that we've learned, mostly a lot of the things that we haven't done so well.
yeah, we're going to learn through others as well.
Right.
Right. But yes, we don't have it figured out. We're giving that disclaimer.
Yeah, 100%.
We're trying.
Yeah, we're trying. And, what we did over the past couple of weeks was have people send in their parenting fails.
Yes.
And so we've got some really good ones. And, a thing that I've heard is that wisdom is not just learning from your mistakes. It's learning from the mistakes of others so you don't have to suffer the consequences.
And you guys have made some mistakes.
Yes,
which you're
massive
about to hear.
mistakes. So learn from these mistakes. No, I'm kidding. Everything that's basically on this list I've done, except for a few, like Tina. We're calling you by name.
Tina.
So, Tina forgot her 10-year-old Connor at a rest stop in Alabama. So pretty good. They said they didn't get too far in realize, but can you imagine? Like, I love a good rest stop on a road trip.
Yeah.
Man. Like, I push Courtney to the limit where I'm like, no, we're not stopping. But if we have to, I'll hit a little rest stop real quick, get in and out. But could you imagine like getting back in the car and be like, oh wait,
Oh, snap.
where's Connor?
And you left him in Alabama.
Couldn't be a worse place.
Mississippi would be worse.
Yeah.
But no offense to all of our Alabama and Mississippi listeners.
Sorry, we still love you.
But yeah, so one that I got, it was on the topic of potty training. I feel like there's probably a lot of fails there.
Yeah, I don't know this one yet, but I'm sure that I've probably done whatever it is.
Gabby, shout out Gabby. During potty training, she told her son that the toilet was a hungry poo monster that needed to be fed.
The poo monster.
And instantly regretted her choice of words, and he didn't sit on the toilet for a year out of fear because she said it was a
Who
poo.
wants to sit on a poo monster?
Exactly. But you think of these things as you're parenting, you're like, it's a poo monster. You need to feed it. It's like, okay, well, I'm not sitting on that thing for a year.
That's pretty gross too.
Yeah,
Feeding the poo monster poo. But anyway, that's okay. That's okay. I love it. Good attempt.
Yeah.
Well, this is one that I got like multiple submissions on. Emily said this, Kayla said this, and a few other people said that their kids would catch their kids eating out of the trash can. I mean, like it's funny too because I was like, man, how does that happen? We have those little locks on all our cabinets and stuff like that. And my favorite thing though is when people come over and they can't get into them, and I'm like, hey, it's not just kid proof, it's you proof.
It's no proof too.
Yeah, good old dad joke for you. But it literally happened when I was preparing for this episode. It was breakfast time just a couple mornings ago. Lucas was eating popcorn. I said, where'd you get that from? Got it out of the trash can. From the night before, he was eating popcorn out of the trash can. So there you go.
Dude.
I'm with you, Emily. I'm with you, Kayla. Yeah, Lucas was eating
kids in trash can. My kids haven't eaten out of the trash can, but whenever they throw something away, they love to just like hover over it and stare at it and start looking. I'm just like, get out of the trash can.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't know, obviously. But
yeah.
Another easy one was, I'll say easy one, simple, but I'm sure we've all gone through it. Brittany on my team, her baby ate some slime.
Nice.
Slime, I guess it's that kind of, you know.
We hate slime.
Yeah, so ate slime, and she had to call poison control or some sort of thing just to see. If it's an issue. She said no. It's all good.
I was struggling to come up with an idea because there were so many different fails, and as soon as you said poison control, one came to mind for me.
Okay.
So Courtney is at a ladies' retreat. Okay, so it's me, just like you were
You
this
and the
past
boys.
weekend by yourself.
Yes.
So I had my buddy Jonathan come over. Me and Jonathan were watching a football game, and we're sitting in the living room. The boys were playing in me and Courtney's room. And honestly, I say playing. I probably put on a show so we could watch the game, right? So me and Jonathan are chilling, and he actually, shout out to my boy Jonathan. He went and checked on the boys for a minute, and Lucas had busted open Courtney's bottle of melatonin.
Oh, snap.
Okay,
Sleepy.
and I didn't know, like the melatonin's all over the floor.
Yeah.
He was chewing on stuff. I start going in and like pulling whatever was out of his mouth.
Like a
It
dog.
wasn't the melatonin. He had eaten the little silica packet. I don't even know that's what you call it, but you know the little packet that says "Do not
the
eat."
things that say don't
and
eat.
Beef jerky and like all that other stuff. And so I'm freaking out, dude. I'm like, Courtney's out of town. Like, I don't know what to do. And so I call poison control. First of all, if you ever have to call poison control as a parent, I wish I knew the lady that I talked to. She was an angel.
Yeah.
Bro, it's like she talked me down.
Was
She's
she like, oh, baby, you got
yes,
that
she
guy?
was.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
very
God, she
nurturing.
was so sweet.
We like that.
Yeah, she really, really took care of me. And I was like, man, I need to see you for counseling. But anyway, she was like, okay, so melatonin is natural. Like, even if he took a lot of it, probably the worst thing that would happen is he would get really, really tired. So she said, just keep an eye on him, keep him hydrated, all that different stuff. He must have not eaten much of the melatonin because the dude was wired. He didn't even go to sleep
There
early.
you go.
But I found out that the silica thing, or the thing that's in beef jerky, it's actually not poisonous. It's a choking hazard.
That's why they say don't
That's
eat.
why they say don't eat it. So
well, there
they're
you
like,
have
yeah,
it.
You can eat it. Yeah,
you guys
eat as
can
many
eat
as
it.
you want. Golly, maybe we should do a disclaimer because I hope I didn't mess that up. I'm pretty sure. I mean, she told me whatever was in there, he didn't.
Seek your own counsel.
Yeah,
if you need to
Google
have any
that before you
questions
start
about
eating
that.
those little packets out of the beef jerky.
Did you tell Courtney that?
I did after. Not while.
How much in trouble?
I mean,
were you?
I started off by saying it was her melatonin. It wasn't mine.
It's your fault.
Yeah, exactly. So she left it there. No, she was fine. She was fine. I kind of hit her with the, hey, everything's okay.
Yeah, you got to start off with, hey, good news is everything's alive.
Yeah.
Everybody's alive.
But, if you ever have to call poison control, know that they got good people working over there.
There you go.
Good people working over there.
All
Got
right, what
a
else
few
we got?
others. Rachel, Jonathan's wife, it's funny.
Nice.
She sent me quite a few. But my favorite was that she said she was sitting on the couch one day and her daughter Lowen, who's like, I don't think Lowen's made 2 yet. She walks up to her and says, "Here, mommy," and she's holding a steak knife.
Oh,
Like, I'm thinking like it's like a Chucky imagery, but it's Lowen.
yeah. If she was holding it like this, if you're watching on video, like, here, mommy. Like, oh, snap.
Yeah. So William and Olivia is the one who texted me and said, y'all are the house dads. Y'all need to do a parenting episode. We finally did, and they sent me like 11 different ones, but I chose my favorite, and it was from William. So William said one day he was fishing his son Tate's shoes out of the toilet. Love that. So getting Tate's shoes out of the toilet, and while he was like shaking off his hands from being wet from toilet water, his ring flew off of his hand, hit Tate in the face, and left a scar
A scar?
on Tate. Like, hit him that
How
bad.
hard are you flapping your
I know,
fingers there,
but
man?
I just love, I just wish we had that on video. That would be America's favorite, like the America's funniest
Yes.
videos. That would take the
If you follow me on Instagram, there's an account that you should follow, and it's called Kids Getting Hurt.
Oh yeah,
I love a good kids getting hurt video. Just obviously kids are the clumsiest. They're just like little drunk humans.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just getting pounded in the head with balls or swings or just tripping. Yeah, you should go follow.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And it's crazy how resilient they can be.
They're
but
so
then
resilient.
Also, cry over a little blister or something. But anyway, so those of you who've been listening for a while, the man behind the scenes. His name is Camden. Camden's dad sent in one that's maybe less of a parenting fail and more to make fun of Camden a little bit. But so Camden, I think that I blame this on his dad because his mom would never. But I think he took this after his dad, took after his dad on this. But Camden got suspended from school by making a crap list. As a 10-year-old. Like he had all of, not like a hit list.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But like, these are all the people on my crap list.
People
and he
to
put
kill
his
with.
teacher on the top of it. And his teacher found it and he got suspended.
Gotcha.
Yep. So you didn't know that one was coming.
I hope it was
but,
actually crap list and not the S word.
Not the obscenity.
Can I specify that the purpose of people that didn't like me? Does that make sense?
Okay. So, two wrongs,
Well, I
making
guess
it right.
That's great
it.
then.
Yeah,
we'll make our
that's-
own crap list.
Yeah, we may have to do that anyway.
Yeah.
But, you got any?
Yeah,
that
well,
you'd like to
and thinking
save
about
space?
this, I don't. There's a lot of instances of this, but the theme of it is I just say really extreme things to get my kids to stop
I
doing
like that.
things,
Like poo-poo monsters?
like poo poo monsters. But no, the two that come to mind. Core Jane, my youngest, she at one day was trying to like take her car seatbelt off.
Yeah.
And she's a mama's girl. She
Right.
loves Brandy. And I told her, I was like, Core Jane, if you don't stop doing that, the police are going to pull us over and they're going to take mama straight to jail and you'll never see her again in your life.
That's pretty ruthless.
Shouldn't have
yeah,
said
that's
that.
a bad idea.
She lost it.
The
She was
old
like,
police
no.
card.
Yeah.
Yep.
It goes from like, hey, we'll get pulled over to, hey, mom's going to jail.
She's gone forever.
Yeah, and then the other one that came to mind, my oldest Madison, she picks her toenails all the time, and she picks it to where
She did that from
it
you?
annoys her. No,
Okay.
I bite mine. She picks hers. No, kidding. But I go to the extreme where I'm like, Madison, if you keep picking your toenails, it's going to start to bleed, and your toe is going to fall off, and we're going to have to cut your foot off. It escalates when I'm so frustrated.
Yeah.
But I just say a lot of those things.
Yeah,
They're just- They put images in their head they shouldn't have.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, and
it's a fail.
yeah.
It's not the best thing to do.
I can't say that I haven't done things like that too. The old, we could just cut it off is always a classic.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to make that finger hurt go away?
said it
Let's
this
just cut
morning.
it off. Yeah. Anyway.
Uh-huh.
But no, we wanted to start off lighthearted, and the rest of this will be too, and it's going to be pretty conversational because we do not have it all figured out.
No.
That is the disclaimer of this one. But we're going to kind of share some of the things that, we don't do well and what we're trying to work on. Sometimes the things that we need to do better is just acknowledge that, hey, we mess up, that we all fall short and make some mistakes. And, even though these things are funny, I really do believe that we need to commit to being better parents.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's not something that we just say, oh, well, they'll be okay.
Right.
We really need to commit to being the best parents that we can be because our children deserve it.
Yeah. You know what I heard actually yesterday? The pastor at my church said, and you may have heard this too, that the first 18 years of someone's life is like, I forget the terminology he used, but like it sets the tone for the rest of their life
Right.
on how, like, if, I think he went on a mission trip to India and there was like an orphanage and there was babies in their cribs and
Right.
none of them were crying. He was like,
Wow.
holy smokes. Like, how does this happen?
Yeah.
He's like, they're used to it. Like no one, they've
It's
grown
just-
up, nobody picking them up and coddling them
Wow.
and they just don't cry.
Yeah.
So like that first 18 years is such a formative time.
Yeah,
and you
it's
wouldn't
crazy.
think, but
No.
like,
Yeah.
man. But yeah, so it goes to what you say.
And with the first 18 years, I saw something the other day that for the first 18 years of your children's life, you spend 95% of the time that you'll spend with them in those first 18 years. That after they turn 18, you got about 5% of the time you'll ever spend with
that's
them that you spend with them.
Yeah.
So like we have to make the most
Yeah.
of that first 18 years. It's hard to even think about with our kids being so young, but
Yeah.
it's really just making sure that we take advantage of every moment.
Yeah,
That
and-
we make sure that we cherish it.
Yeah, and it's hard to hear in the time, people with kids that have gone off to college, they'll say, well, it goes by so fast, make the most of it, and we're struggling in the meantime, so it's hard
For
to
sure.
hear.
Yeah.
But I get it.
Yeah.
I understand.
I think one of the things, like you and I talked about, like we were going to share some of the things that we feel like we could do better to let you know again before we start telling you things that we've done well or that we're trying to do well.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think we both agreed on is that we're pretty inconsistent.
Yeah,
It's like, and it's so hard because you could read 100,000 books before you have your first child. And then you're like, I'm going to put this in place and this in place and this in place. But then when you try and put those things in place, it just doesn't work. And so you could apply one method, one principle, one way of discipline, but then you do it one day and you don't do it the same the next day. So being consistent is tough, and it's something
Yeah.
that I struggle with all the time.
what is that Mike Tyson quote? You know what I'm saying? I think it's
I only know one Mike Tyson quote and it has nothing to do with parenting, and I probably shouldn't say
no,
it
this
here,
is about
but-
parenting, but something like everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So
That's a
yeah,
fact.
we can set, especially if we don't have kids. You're like, I see so many memes like, oh, my kids are gonna eat whatever I give them. They're gonna I'm gonna do this. And when you have kids, it's a punch in
It
the face
changes quite a bit.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, being consistent, especially with we put our moods.
Yeah.
They don't know what we're going through during the day. So
Right.
there's gonna be times where I'm super energetic and playful and like, yeah, let's do this, let's build a fort. And there's gonna be times where I'm like, I'm not feeling it.
Yep.
So, and they're going to see
break.
that inconsistency.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's tough. And I think the thing that I have the hardest time being consistent with is honestly like rules and boundaries. That like one day we're enforcing them,
Yeah.
one day we're saying you can't do this, and then the next day we let it slide. And so I can see how that would be confusing to my voice.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, so, one thing is we're inconsistent. And then one thing that I find, and Courtney calls me out on this all the time, is that I start to fight battles that are not worth fighting. We talked about this in previous episodes, that I don't mind a little confrontation.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't like giving up.
Yeah.
And so one of the ones, like, for example, like fighting battles that I shouldn't be fighting is like, right now the boys are in the same room. We're trying that whole deal.
You just started it?
Yeah, we just started it. And, well, we went on a cruise. The boys had bunk beds on the cruise, and they loved sleeping in the same room and sleeping together. And we're like, okay, well, when we get home, do y'all want to do that? And they're like, yes, let's do it. Right. And so it's been good. Yeah. It's been good for them going to sleep and everything like that. It's been really nice. But Max has been waking up in the middle of the night every night and saying, I want to sleep on the couch. He didn't want to go back to his bed. Yeah. And so Courtney was like, just let him sleep on the couch. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I would fight him going back to his bed. We would go like 5, 6, and 7 times from I'm going to put you back in your bed. 15, 20 minutes later, he's back in the room. And she's like, babe, it's not worth it. Yeah. And so he slept on the couch for a couple nights, and then he would end up going back to his room. And it just picking and choosing the battles that are worth it and not. It's a tough balance.
Yeah, a battle I'm always fighting that doesn't need to be is keeping the house clean, right? So you mentioned I had the girls this weekend while Brandy was she was out there partying.
Can't believe you left him alone, Brandy.
She was on her bachelorette trip, so she deserved it. Yeah. But yeah, I had the girls to myself, and like my goal was when Brandy came home was to have a house just like clean. Right. Nothing better coming home from a trip and you're like everything's just like hotel feeling, right? Yes. So my goal was for her to come back to that, and as the time gets closer for her to come, I'm basically telling them not to play. Like they're getting stuff out. I'm like, no, put that back, and I'm fighting the battle of trying to keep it clean. And I'm like, look, I mean, yes, I want it can be clean to an extent, but like I was just fighting that off so hard, and it's like, they're probably like, what do you want us to do? We're just sit here in silence? And
Please,
I said, actually, yes. But yeah, we fight a lot of things, and I'm like,
this is not worth
even Brandy will say like, did you tell him not to do? I was like, yeah. And she's like, why? I don't know. Just felt like
I thought I should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
There could be a ton of examples of things that we just fight that are not worth it.
No.
And then this kind of goes with that. But one thing I find myself doing more now with Max, who's 4, than Lucas, who's 2, is I kind of start to micromanage Max a little bit. Like he's my little employee. Yeah. Which, I mean, maybe one day he will be, but he's not on the payroll yet. And I just kind of find like, I'm just kind of like helping him make decisions and, hey, this is to do the right thing and this is what you do here, like trying to control all these different aspects of his life. But one of the things that my parents did so well with me, now at a much older age, I don't think I really remember how they did it when I was 4 and 5, but they let me make my own mistakes. Yeah. And so I think I got to be careful to not try and micromanage every area of my child's life.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So we often micromanage every step. Like, hey, we just foresee, hey, you're going to get hurt if you do this, climbing up this or doing that. So we often like, hey, don't do this. And it's like, sometimes you got to have the mentality of, I don't want them to get hurt by any means.
No, of course not.
But like, sometimes they got to learn
the hard way.
The way they're going to learn.
It's kind of like touching the stove. Like, hey, I already told you. And then when you finally touch the stove, you realize we don't want it to get to that. But some of the things, those are lessons learned that they're going to realize, oh, I see why Dad told me not to do that.
Yep.
So, there's some of the things that I think that we can do better. And I'm sure we probably could come up with a list of 100 more. But, some of the things we wanted to share too are things that, if you're a new parent or maybe you just need a reminder of, that these things, I know that for my boys and you do the same thing at your house, you and Brandy do, just a few practical tips that we've found that have been helpful. And the first is just to have a established routine.
Routine is clutch with kids. Man.
Yeah, because I know and I see how clutch it is with our kids when they get out of the routine. Yep. Like when we're on vacation or something goes crazy, that I realize that things completely go out of whack. Mm-hmm. Y'all are the same way with routine.
Especially with and early on, like nap time and bedtime. Yeah. That is clutch. I used to, kind of going back to real estate, but like when I had clients and sellers for showings and like, no, we can't show during this time, it's nap time. Before kids, I was so annoyed. I was like,
what are you talking
do you want to sell your house or not? Like, we got to approve these things. And then as a parent now, I'm like,
Now you
heck
see
no, don't even go in there during nap time. It's the sacred,
Yes.
but yeah, you got to have those routines of even leading up to bedtime. Bedtime's just been our biggest, sleep is a big thing.
Yeah.
So that's been our biggest routine.
Yeah, it's
but
a big
even
deal.
eating, everything.
All of it. Yeah. And children, and studies show this and everything like that, but I've seen it, is that they thrive in a routine.
Yes.
When they know what they're confident and comfortable and secure in, they can know what to expect. And so that allows a whole lot less room for misinterpretation, confusion, frustration, and all those different things. And there's something to be said about such a rigid schedule that allows for no flexibility to where then you kids can't adapt and do things. Like there's a little bit where we introduce where on vacation things are going to be a little different, or we have an event that's late that night, things are going to be different, and we have people over and that changes and stuff like that. But throughout the most part of the week, we really want to help keep them on this routine, because I think you've got I forget which one of yours is like the same way that Max is, that every night we go to sleep, Max is like, what are we doing tomorrow?
Yeah,
what are we doing the next day?
Madison.
Madison?
Yeah.
Like that she just like Max wants to know what to expect.
Yep.
And so if they know what to expect, they can be a little bit more understanding of what's expected of them.
Yeah. Yeah, she'll ask every day, what are we doing tomorrow? I was like, tomorrow's school. And like yesterday they took a field trip to like a strawberry patch, and she's been pumped about it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So pumped that she wakes up early, and I'm like, is it strawberry patch day? I was like, yes. No matter if you wake up now or an hour later, we'll leave it at the same time.
Yes.
But yeah, she's got to know, man. That helps her just like look forward to things and plan in her head. It's important.
Right. And so, yeah, obviously a routine's big, but this next thing is probably the most important, is being present. Man, like being present with your children, bar none, is probably the most important thing that I could ever put on this list. And it's something that all the time that I wish I did better, but it's one thing that I really do make sure to prioritize, that even if I'm in this same room with my boys, if I'm on my phone, I'm not really with them.
Yeah.
I could physically be with them, but they notice the difference.
Oh, yeah.
When I get down on the floor, put away my phone, and I'm just sitting there with Lucas. I did that this morning before he left for school. Before I left for work and before he left for school. And we sat on their little DocaTot couch or whatever, and like we just sat there and talked.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't like a deep conversation and stuff, but he's like, playing with his little bus, and we're talking and we're interacting and we're down the same level, and there's not a phone distracting us, and I'm being present with my boy. And that time is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
It can't be substituted for anything else.
Have you ever had them ask you to get off your phone?
Yes. Talk about convicting.
Talk about a stinking stab.
Talk about convicting. Like there's nothing more important on this phone than spending time with your family, spending time with your kids. And, like it develops this relationship of trust and openness. And, man, it hit us. It was Sunday at church that Max was like, I want a phone. I'm like, bro, you are 4 years old. He asked us for a phone.
It's like, I see you using it.
Yeah, we were talking to like, some of the other youth and stuff, like when they first got a phone. And and it was funny and stuff, but it's like, no, I don't ever want him to think that my phone is so important.
Yeah.
More important than spending time with them.
Yeah. I get a blurred, vision of that I like to make like videos with the girls, like fun, creative videos.
Right.
And when I started doing them, I would, it's fun to shoot them and like say, do this. And I have the clips.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, all right, I want to sit down and like put it together and edit it.
Right.
And that's where I'm like doing this. And they start talking, and I got frustrated,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is defeating the purpose. Like
Right.
I wanted to be present and do something fun with them, but so now I know it's like, hey, we shoot the video, put it away, and then when things are chill or they're down, then I can put it together.
Yeah, and y'all, we all know and reason with the fact that we're busy, and there's things that need our attention and we have to respond to and things like that. But there's a balance to it. There's a balance to it, and just making sure that there is that point where you put it away and you're like, no, I'm just going to be with you. Being present, so important. And I was thinking about, the later it gets, I think right now, there's so many simple things that me and my boys do together that's easy. Like we'll take walks around the neighborhood, go fishing, play in the backyard, and it's the silliest stuff. Like their favorite game that we play is me throwing the ball in the air as high as I possibly can.
That's fun.
And I just throw it and they run and chase it. I mean, it's fetch. Yeah. But they love how dad can throw the ball high in the air.
They love it and they want it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the simplest thing, but being present, that's their favorite time together.
Yeah.
And then we play cops and robbers in the backyard. And what we do is we pretend that the guy who is, we pretend that the cop falls asleep, and the people who are on the trampoline, we break out. And so we just take turns. Max will be cop, me and Lucas on the trampoline. Just those little things, being present and prioritizing those are so important.
And it's I don't like thinking about it, but as they get older, they're not going to want to do those things. I know we're coming from the perspective of like toddlers, right? And babies, toddlers, but obviously parenting goes into the preteens, the teenage. Like that's a whole nother ball game.
Exactly.
But during that time, they're not going to say, hey, let's go for a walk. They're going to probably say, no, I don't want to, or something. So like now is the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was talking to my pastor today, and he's got older kids, and I say older kids, they're in high school.
Yeah.
And he was talking about his boy, Tyler. And I've got this golf itch. We were talking about playing golf earlier, and I was asking my pastor, I was like, hey, you play golf? He said, no, I've actually got it planned because his boy plays high school baseball right now. He said, we've talked about it, that when he's done with high school baseball, our thing that's going to have us spend time together is we're going to play golf every week.
Nice.
And it's like, so no matter what stage of life you're in, you can make that time to find common interest in being present with your children.
Yep.
So being present, again, that's not a new, a novel idea, but it's just a reminder to just be present and focus on it. And listening to your children is the next one. I think it's so easy for me to just be like, hey, why won't you listen to me? But when I don't listen to them, even though I know my way is right and I know better than them, that if I don't listen to what either they don't understand from me, then I really can't help them.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, but, communication is key in any relationship, but especially listening to our children and kind of hearing their thoughts and feelings. And I thought this was so cheesy when Courtney first did it, man. I'm going to be honest with you. But we have this little book, and it's like, it's a feeling chart. Yeah. You ever seen that?
Yeah, I think we have one.
Yeah. So like Max sometimes would just get so frustrated and so angry, and he wouldn't be able to, he'd say, I can't. I'd be like, baby, calm down, or, like, tell me what and he's like, I can't.
Yeah.
But Courtney has this little feeling chart, and he would be able to say, like, this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling confused,
That's
or I'm
awesome.
feeling frustrated, or I'm feeling this, or I'm feeling that. And it's just like different ways that we communicate, different ways that we listen to our kids is important.
Yeah, man. Especially, at that age, it's just their big feelings, even the smallest thing. And we find the hardest time to listen, like a lot of times we're in a hurry in the mornings to get out, and they're never in a hurry, right? They're always on their own time. So we try to say, stop doing this, let's go. And then that is when they get upset and they want to say it, but we can't, like, it's hard to listen when you're in a hurry. But yeah, man, they've got some, even if it's the smallest thing, you got to listen or try to listen, because if it escalates, they can't voice it.
Yeah.
And then you start getting frustrated, and everybody's frustrated. Yeah. But again, easier said than done.
100% easier said than done.
They don't have a lot of good things to say, or like important or like relevant things.
Right.
But they still matter.
Yeah. But getting down on their level and just kind of, focusing on that communication. But all of this to say that, like, just kind of when we start to close this thing up, is that you have to give yourself grace. Like, we talked about this in other podcasts before, but parenthood is so challenging that I think, again, like I said, the reason that it took us this long to get to this episode, and not that it's a bunch of new information, more so just some reminders, but like, it's because nothing humbles me more than being a dad. Yeah. Is that there's nothing that I feel like, crap, I dropped the ball on this, or, I could have been more patient with Max. I could have spend more time with Lucas. I could have but it's because it's so important that we all need to focus on it and kind of need this fresh start and this reminder. But you got to give yourself grace.
Yeah, man. You have to. And it's like you say, this topic, we almost didn't want to touch it because there's so many opinions on different things, but I think the things we said are pretty universal.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like, hey, this is how you should discipline your children and how you shouldn't. We didn't get into all that, but there's so many different things. There's so many different opinions that you can have. I think that these are core principles, though, but like it's even more important than how you discipline your children. It's even more important about what time you set your bedtime and what time you do this. Like all those little things that we complicate with. It's like, if we just focus on listening to them, being present, prioritizing them, and giving yourself grace. One thing that Courtney does that I love is that, like, it always seems like it's the mornings can be so tough. Yeah. Like when you're getting them off to school and we're going to work and doing all these different things, if we have a bad morning, or, if we have a bad grocery trip, or if we just have a bad, just things are chaos. Right. The kids are going crazy and stuff. And we'll get in the car when everybody's kind of calmed down. She'll kind of stop and bring everybody and be like, hey, can we just start over? Can we just refresh? And the boys know, like, yeah, let's start over.
Nice. That's
And it was
awesome.
so cool. The other day, Max initiated and said, hey, can we just start over? And it's like we need to be able to show grace, give grace, and really give grace to ourselves. And say, hey, can we just have a fresh start?
Yep.
And that's the good thing, man. They're resilient, these kids.
Yes,
no
they
matter
are.
what stage of life they're in, that they built in with that. They love you.
They
And
do.
so,
Yeah. I think that's awesome. And I think this was well overdue, like you said. One of my favorite things to do, I say favorite things to do, but like memes, like parenting memes and parenting accounts, like they're funny and they remind me like, wow, I'm not alone in this, like this struggle or this frustration. So another reason to talk about this was to, I feel like it's just a universal thing. Like people struggle with often the same things, and some may be different things, but this can still translate to that.
100%.
But yeah, I'm glad we could start off a little lighthearted with some parenting fails. Don't stop sending them if you want to let us know.
Please, I'd love to make fun of all your parents. I'm kidding. I've got plenty.
This may be worth another episode or something.
I think so. We could probably get into some more details.
Yeah.
It's more specifics.
More specific
We just want
stuff.
to let you know that we really are dads, so we didn't just pick that name for nothing.
Yes. And so thank you for listening. We didn't do this in the beginning. I forgot to do it. But we do have a call to action for you. We'd love for you to go to our YouTube.
Please.
If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, that's great. But you can hop on over to YouTube and give us a like, subscribe, go watch all the videos, and like them all. We'd love
Every single
We'd
one,
love for you to
please.
do that. So we are on video. We put a lot of work into we talked about Cam. He does a lot of work behind the scenes to get this up and running and have us looking good.
Right.
And this set behind us again. We spent hours and hours.
It takes a lot of work to make me look good.
Yeah.
Rhett, he just shows up like this.
It's true.
We
Just
got a
kidding.
whole makeup team and all that.
Yeah. Thank you, Denise in the back. Just kidding. There's no name Denise. But yes, thank you for watching. Hope you guys got some value from it. Let us know what you think.
Please.
Let us know if we said anything that kind of made an impact for you. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next episode.
See ya.